All right, welcome to the first episode of Cryptic Bones. I got my first guest, Daniel. What's up, man?
What's up, man? I'm here.
Yeah, yep. So you've got some really cool stories to tell me. Like you were telling me about, you have a Slender Man experience.
Yeah.
You have alien experience. You have ghost experience.
Yeah.
One of the things like we were talking about before, during a recording that got botched.
Yep.
Is tell me about some of the stuff that when you were living at a house. Tell me.
Oh
me
yeah,
about
I'm gonna narrow it down. Like, like we went over some shit.
that. Dude, it sucks, man. It's almost like creepy. Like we did almost a full episode, and then somewhere through the ether it got deleted.
Which is kind of crazy.
yeah.
But it wasn't too long, and we weren't finished.
No, we were by no means finished.
We weren't finished, so I'm gonna.
You're in a new seat too. How do you like that seat?
It's nice.
Go ahead.
Actually, makes me feel more like telling
telling the
experiences.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And
So-
I didn't even tell the full experiences.
Yes.
So I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna put this in a better way now that I could actually think of
It's
it.
been in your brain for a while.
Yeah. So it's gonna be actually even better to. I'm gonna put it in a better way now, actually. So for the listeners and stuff, you're in for some.
Dude, we
shit.
get people listening in Ireland and
That's
like
awesome.
Australia.
Yes, that's awesome. So like, if you guys are ready to listen to some real experiences
Let's let them have it.
and creepy shit, this is it. So, all right. So as you know, the listeners don't, but it all started young. I'm going to jump in right into the important stuff. The crazy stuff started happening at, I would say, 15. Poltergeist activity.
Right.
My soda cans moving by themselves.
Well, they didn't get to hear this because it got lost. But tell them about this. You said your dog didn't even like.
Yeah, my dog was staring. I was in the living room, eating, drinking a can of soda, and this thing moved by itself.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And what's crazy is like a whole.
It was a full rotation.
A full rotation, dude. And it was on the glass table that my mom had right there, and that I was utilizing to put drinks on. And I guess my dog didn't trip out, which made me feel like I shouldn't trip out.
Well, like animals tend to pick up on that stuff.
Exactly. So I was like, all right, not that crazy. So I went on with my day and didn't think much of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so these things were happening at, I actually forgot to say, but before I moved into this house where that happened, do
you feel like it was the house? Do you feel like
I kind of do feel like it was a house. I felt like there was
the location?
Yeah, definitely something that was already there.
Okay.
And
So it wasn't fixated on you or anything?
No. And even before that, as you know, I was having experiences in other houses that, but that was the first time that something that was kind of poltergeisty activity that happened, which was kind of shocking. But I should actually say the first time that I actually did see something was even before that.
Okay.
Which I was 13, 12 years old, which was at another house I lived in. I saw an apparition of a girl.
Right. We meant tell the story again because it got lost. Tell the story again.
So, and the apparition was, I feel the least creepiest. What the creepy thing was when I was laying on my bed.
Yes.
And I heard a woman humming in my ear.
And that is so crazy.
That's horror movie shit.
It really is.
I was
because we did almost almost more than an hour of recording before this actual episode.
Yeah.
And it got lost to the ether, which is kind of creepy.
It's like they
it
took it.
It just like went away. It just fucking went away.
It's like they're like, oh, we don't want him to talk about this stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. But like one of the things I was asking you before is like, it didn't creep you out at the moment, right? Like it was,
not the apparition, but the humming.
That's what creeped you out.
That's what creeped me because it was right in my ear, which, like I said, it kind
And
of.
you could tell it was a woman.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was a female voice.
Oh yeah, man. It felt almost like violating.
Well, yeah, you said that before. Like
Yeah, because it was so close.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
right in my ear. Like she was like I was laying on the bed, dude.
Mhm. And you were by yourself in the room.
Exactly,
Right?
which means that if there was anything behind me, that thing was on the bed with me.
Creepy,
dude.
Creepy.
Hey, man, this one is creepier, even creepier than the first one.
Right. Well, like, and I've had like I said, the Nerdy Bone studio, my house is haunted as fuck.
Yeah, we're in it.
Yeah, and like I'm sure you can feel it a little bit.
And like how you said we just lost out to the ether.
Yeah, to the ether. It was gone. Like I've done
my first time here, and we were already experiencing weird shit.
Well, like I've done this 137 times. That has never happened for it to just disappear.
And it's my first time here.
Yeah, it's just never fucking happened. And like, and we were lucky enough to have Tony with us, and Tony was creeped out enough to go home.
He just left.
Yeah, he was like creeped out enough to go home and like not do the re-record.
This makes this episode even creepier.
Yeah.
Even though we're a little bummed out from like.
Well, but you know we're gonna get something better from it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. And it's still kind of early.
Yeah.
It's early, so we're good. We're good.
Yeah. So,
And so basically, back to my experiences.
mhm.
That was the first one, the humming, man, and the apparition.
That's so weird, man.
And not only is it weird, dude, but I was so young. I was 12.
Yeah.
I was 12 years old, man.
And you can't just like explain that away.
No,
Like
man.
you saw it. You can't explain that away. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was a trick of the light.
No.
It was, like you can't
Like,
explain that away.
that was the humming was sound, and then the apparition was with the apparition of a child, a girl child, flying out the tree when I looked out the window
Mhm.
because I heard a car peeling out.
You said that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason I looked out the window.
And then you saw it.
I saw a little girl flying out the tree. I wouldn't really like I said, I wouldn't say floating, but kind of like the wind.
Right. Yeah. How did we say it before? Like vapor?
Yeah,
It was
kind of
like
like smoke.
Yeah, it was like vapor.
Like she was made
smoke.
out of smoke vapor.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's fucking crazy.
It is, dude. And so that for some reason was like, oh, that's outside the window. Oh, and I actually forgot to include. She looked like she was wearing like an antique dress.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
dude.
Really? Wow.
Like something out of like the 1800s, dude.
Really?
Which makes things a little creepier.
Yeah. Like, have you ever heard?
I'm scared myself now.
Like, are you familiar with the story of the girl in the white dress?
No.
Yeah, it's basically like the Beast of Brer Road, kind of something along that lines.
Okay.
It's basically the story is this woman was at in the 30s. She was at a ball, like a party,
Yeah.
and got upset with her boyfriend and left.
Yeah.
And, like think about it. What the story is like you pick up a girl on the side of the road, you drive her somewhere, and then you look back and she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You-
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, and then you go knock on the door, like, oh, she died 30 years ago.
Dude.
Yeah.
That is fucking creepy,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People tell that story to this day.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking creepy, man.
That is.
Yeah. So like, so what really kind of like piques my interest is like, you told a story about a Ouija board earlier tonight.
Oh yeah.
And what I say is that opens up it opens you up to these experiences.
Exactly.
So again, tell the story of this Ouija board you found.
So, and this was even before, and the reason why I didn't.
Yeah, this is before the story you
Yeah.
just told.
Oh, this was like the reason why I didn't even include this one is because it was more like of a first time seeing things like that type of thing. Wasn't really like I didn't see things moving. I didn't see an apparition. I didn't hear things. But we found a Ouija board in an abandoned house.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking weird already.
Oh, and I didn't even include this in the first when I was telling you.
The first take.
Yeah, dude, there was like, this sounds crazy, but there was like needles in the house.
Really?
Apparently someone overdosed in the house. Later on we found out, you know what I mean? As kids, we found out this information because the neighbors had told us. But it's not even the craziest thing, dude. We were, looking through the house. We'll find weird shit like porn mags.
Oh yeah.
And then the weirdest shit besides the Ouija board that we found, dude, was like, besides like the needles and things like that, we found like kittens smashed with a couch, dude.
What?
Like, you know how like a couch is like against a wall?
Yeah.
We moved the couch and there was a kitten smashed against the wall with the couch, almost as if it was running, and they're like
slammed
the couch.
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? That's creepy. That makes me feel like a cult type shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that makes me feel like
it looked kind of like an accident, but it kind of didn't.
Well, that's not an accident. You don't kill a kitten on accident.
Yeah, dude. So that house was definitely some crazy.
And that was in a neighborhood you lived in.
Yeah, right on like Oracle and Grant.
Okay, yeah. I know the area.
Poverty.
Yeah, know the area.
And so, okay, so that's the Ouija board thing, and then like and then back to the Ouija board thing. My friend was like, we have to throw this thing away. My grandma told me to throw it away.
Well, you're supposed to burn that shit.
Yeah, they said you're supposed to burn it. So he said, come over. I want you to throw it with me. Put your hands on it. We're going to open the garbage can, and we're going to both grab it, and we're going to let it go at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, he was like, I felt like he was like more intuitive than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like just listening to him and like, yeah, let's do this. So we threw it away, and luckily it didn't come back or anything.
So you never played with it?
We never played it. I felt like we knew not to.
Got an alarm going on. Keep talking.
And so like, yeah, we threw it away, and it didn't come back. We were happy. We moved on with our lives. But that was the Ouija board experience.
Yeah, that's like in our previous fucking recording, like we talked so much.
Yeah. Well, it was an hour and a half, but it did feel like a lot.
Yeah, but the big thing with the Ouija board is that opens you up to
portals later.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And like the big thing with me is it's like if you like we've talked about the Nerdy Bone studio at my house being haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like have you ever heard of the band Ghost?
No.
They're a satanic band.
Oh, okay.
And I was like listening to some of their music.
Okay.
And I noticed that once I started listening to that,
yeah,
shit in my house was going crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I was like playing it on the TV, and it was like the chants and stuff that they were doing was like audible in my house.
Yeah.
And shit started fucking going crazy.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, like the fucking like cabinets slamming and just weird ass shit.
That's right. You mentioned that.
Yeah, just weird ass shit. And like I had to like, because my grandfather was a preacher from Ireland.
Yeah.
And like he was like, if this happens, you say this. You know, you're like religion aside, you whatever you identify with religion.
Yeah.
But like I stood in my kitchen and I was like, I said I'm a Christian and Jesus protects me.
Yeah.
And I just take that for what it is. But and like I noticed when I did that, it fucking stopped.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, like
dude.
I was like, okay, because I'm not religious.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it was just because like I was listening to like satanic music,
Yeah.
and like shit started like getting fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I stood in my kitchen, which is not very big,
No.
and I said that, and like it stopped. Like, just take that for what it is.
Yeah.
Just take that for what it is. But it's just kind of crazy when like you open it up and let that kind of stuff into your life.
Yeah, man, and that's why you got to be careful.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And you know, like, I feel like, you know, like what we were saying, like you got, like, you know, like what's his name was saying, like you got to stand your ground.
Stand your ground. Yeah.
When you show them that,
You're not weak.
yeah,
You're not
there's
weak.
nothing for them to feed off, because they feed off of fear and shit.
Exactly.
Once you show them that you're not here to be fucked with and fed off,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of say, "Oh wow, this guy's figured out the trick, so we gotta."
Right. Well, like if in your culture, in your life, if you believe in demons and stuff of the like,
Mhm.
if you believe in that and that's part of your life, you have to stand your ground.
Yeah.
You can't be like, because if you believe in that, like that's the whole point of the show, is just like if you believe in that, they're going to come at you.
Yeah.
You know, so at this point, what I want to talk about is on the same note. I know you told this story already once tonight.
No, I don't even mind repeating it.
The
Second time, it sounds better.
Well, it might be more refined this time.
Yeah.
You're what you would call the Slender Man.
Yeah.
So
I call him the Shadow Man.
Shadow Man,
because the Slender Man, people try to say he wears a suit.
right, and has a hat and all this stuff.
Doesn't wear. It's like what I saw, never.
Well, like Slender Man, and the big thing is like Slender Man was kind of like not in the media at all until this guy, I forget the guy's name,
Yeah.
but he wrote a story, and like these two girls actually went out and committed homicide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually heard that one.
Yeah, but I want to hear again so the audience can hear it. Tell me your story again, and I'll
Yeah.
go ahead, man.
Dude. Okay.
And Tony had such great insight on it. I feel so fucking bad we lost that audio.
Oh man, it was good.
Yeah.
But I'm basically gonna just touch down on everything that he did say.
Yeah.
So, crazy thing about the Shadow Man.
Well, you were walking home, right?
Yeah, dude. So like, and this is a little later on, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a little later on in life.
Well, you were how old? 20?
At this time, I was 20. So before that, we'll talk about a little bit of the stuff that happened before that. But like when this happened, it was so fucking life changing.
Yeah, I believe it.
It was like I almost didn't believe in, like, I don't know if it's a demon.
Well, you didn't have a belief in the paranormal.
Exactly, like what, like, you know, like I've experienced, like before I experienced the Shadow Man.
And the woman whispering. In
Yeah,
your ear.
I was like, oh, ghosts are real.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I believed in ghosts, but I didn't believe in like actual like shadow people or demons or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Whatever they are. I didn't believe that shit was real. And then, so me and my friends were just out smoking and drinking, kind of like, you know, it was about 10, 11 o'clock when I started going home. I was like, it's getting late. I'm going home. So my mom.
Go ahead. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My mother lived next to a cemetery.
And you said in a trailer, right?
Yeah, trailer parks next to a cemetery on Park and 6th Avenue here in Tucson. And so, like, a lot of people know where that location is at. And if you know, there's an alley that is basically like the cemetery's alley, which is the trailer park's alley too, because they're right across each other. And then next to it is an empty lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then next to that empty lot, there's like this house, like a regular house that is also connected to the alley. Well, not connected, but their front yard is connected to the alley. And the house is like this old man lived there. So anyways, it's my normal route. I go through the alley. I make a left through the lot. and then I go up to my mom's trailer.
Sorry, my mic keeps moving and it's creepy. Go ahead.
And so don't worry, Keith, you're here with me. So anyways, I'm going through my normal route, and it's almost like as if this thing was waiting for me under a tree next to the cemetery.
Okay, you said that. Like, you felt like it was waiting.
Yeah, because at first I was like, oh, it's probably a homeless man.
Mm-hmm.
Just standing there. He's probably going to ask me for change. Because I was like, why is this person
At this time of night
standing there staring at me? You know what I mean?
You said before there was like no facial features.
No, there never was.
Oh, that's crazy.
And the moonlight, it was like, I think it was a full moon, honestly. And the moonlight was shining, dude. And the moonlight was shining on the trees, on the rocks, on the dirt.
And you remember this vividly.
Very vividly, dude.
Man.
If I could paint the picture for you guys, I'm doing my best job. But the crazy thing is that this thing was pitch black, man. Like,
That's
there was,
crazy.
the moonlight was hitting it, and there was no features.
It was like, was it like soaking up the light? Like it was like a void?
Yeah. Kind of like what's his name was saying, like there was no features of a nose, nothing.
Flat. Yeah.
Flat, dude.
Yeah.
And kind of like he was saying, like, kind of like if you take the little figure on the men's room.
Oh, that's what he said.
And
yeah.
you stretch it out.
Yeah. That's
make
what
it
you saw.
super tall. So it looked really tall, right? And I'm getting closer, and I'm like, well, it's probably like some tall homeless guy. And I'm like, well, this guy,
He's really tall.
really tall. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this man naked? Because
You said that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you know homeless people they'll be wearing like some baggy shit or something,
Yeah.
like a jacket or something.
So like the thinness of it made you think he was naked. Like
Yeah.
there's no like clothes.
And now I'm getting worried, like, oh man, this guy's gonna trip on me or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm a man. I'm brave enough to be like, fuck you,
I'm gonna
get the
walk
fuck away.
past.
Yeah, I'm getting closer, and as the closer I'm getting, dude, this thing starts looking way more taller.
Yeah.
Then at first it looked like 6 something, then it looked 7 feet. Then this dude, I was like, okay, this thing's like 8 feet. And
Damn.
dude, now I'm tripping, right?
I'm tripping is putting it lightly, man.
And I'm like, yeah, now I'm just like, all right, I don't know if I should keep going. But I'm like,
Well, you didn't have any other options.
I didn't, because that was my route. And I was like, unless I turn back, which I was contemplating at this point. I'm like, well, this is a very tall person, and there's no features where I should be able to see features. So I'm like, all right, now I'm really tripping, because I'm like, why can't I see features? It's pitch black. He's pitch black.
So it looked flat.
Flat.
Yeah.
And then, so now the closer I'm getting, dude, now this thing is starting to come towards me.
Oh man, talk about skin crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
skin crawling. And you told me you like ran into a yard or something like that.
yeah. So this thing's starting to come towards me, man, and his arms and his legs are way longer, kind of like spider legs.
Well, like here's to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
With Tony's testimony of a story that he was talking about. Like
Yeah.
it looked like it was like water, like underwater and like wiggly. Like,
Very wiggly, like octopus-like arms.
Yeah.
That's and I said the octopus arms before he even started talking about that, which was like crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, he basically told the same exact story that, like is seeing this thing that like looking like it was like shimmery underwater and like flickering around and moving in a weird way. The water would make something look.
Yeah, and then
that's pretty crazy, man.
Super crazy, dude. And like, what tripped me out, man, is the fact that this thing started coming at me with speed.
Mm-hmm. And I think I asked you before, like you felt threatened or
felt very threatened. I felt like it was like, first I felt like this fear shoot up my spine.
Yeah. Make you feel cold and shit.
Yeah, now that I could like put it in, like narrow it down into like some like straightforward details without thinking about it too much, like I was in the first take, like it was very like very like fear shooting up my spine, kind of like paralyzing fear, like a paralyzing fear.
So you felt in danger. You felt in
I felt
danger.
very endangered.
Wow.
And so this thing is like coming at me, and I'm like, all right, at this point, I feel very threatened and endangered. I felt spiritually attacked and like I was going to be physically attacked.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, the only thing I could do is run backwards, right? So then I look to the left, and I'm next to that old man's yard that I spoke of.
Yeah.
So I said, if I hop this man's yard and he comes out tripping that I'm in his yard, he's going to see what I'm seeing.
But there's somebody here that I can be like, look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I do is when this shadow being is coming towards me, and I have to mention, like I said before, like when this thing was coming at me, it's almost as if like when he was taking steps towards me, it's like his legs were getting longer with every step. And then the craziest thing, dude, the what really made me fucking almost piss my pants was when he reached his fucking arms towards me. Like,
oh, you mentioned that. Yeah.
And then his arms were waving like an octopus arm, dude.
That's crazy.
Like two octopus arms, like, and he's coming at me with
like we were talking about earlier, like octopus arms. Did it look like it was like underwater?
Like
with
underwater
with
movement,
like the waving of
yes,
like,
dude, like an underwater movement, dude. And that freaked me out so fucking much. At this point, I was
at this point you would say he was like 8 foot tall.
Yeah, definitely 8 foot, dude. And I'm a small dude. I'm 5'8".
I'm taller than you.
Yeah, I'm 5'8". This thing's huge, man.
Okay.
I'm literally afraid for my. I'm thinking this thing's gonna either kill me or possess me, right?
So you had the feeling of like
exactly
like you said before, like spiritual like attack.
Yeah, dude, and like thank God, like God probably gave me the strength to actually be like run into this man's yard, jump that back fence. You know what I'm saying? So I run into his yard, and I'm thinking this thing's gonna chase after me because it's already coming after me. Hop that fence, dude. I run through his yard and I hop his back fence.
Okay.
And then I look back. I'm running through the lot, because his backyard led through the lot where I usually was going to turn, which I was too afraid of turning it at that point. I was too afraid of turning that lot to pass because he had basically blocked my way to it.
I see.
Yeah, this shadow being basically had blocked my way through my normal route, dude. So I'm like, this thing's out here hunting shit. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, whoa. Look, I got the goosebumps when you said that. I literally got goosebumps when you said that. Yeah,
dude.
Continue.
So I'm like, dude, I run through. Thank God, by some sort of a miracle, dude, I get through and I turn around, dude. And what I see staring at me from the alley is the shadow being, dude.
And it didn't you say before, like it was like almost like he couldn't pass a barrier?
Yeah, almost like he didn't have permission to go in the old man's yard.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But he had permission to be in the alley, which was my route.
Right. Well, that makes you think that maybe old man was
maybe religious or something.
Exactly.
And the crazy thing too is like I'm okay, so I'm running to the main road. I'm running. Do these mics do that?
No.
So I'm running through the main road, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna stand under the street light.
Mm-hmm. Like illuminate yourself.
Exactly. And I stare at this thing, dude, and we're just having like a stare down, kind of like what's his name saying.
Creepy.
Yeah, dude, and it's just still staring at me, just still.
And no features.
No features, dude. Tall, pitch black, staring at me, and then I don't know what went through my head. It was probably my immatureness, and I said, "Fuck you, man."
Yeah, you said that before. Fuck you.
I said, "Fuck you, man." And then I run inside my mom's trailer.
And did anything happen after that? Like once you got inside?
I got inside, dude, and I think this thing is gonna go in my mom's yard and not bang down my mom's door or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Cause like we forgot to mention my experience before the shadow being was the growling at my window,
Which way you actually talked about before.
which we're gonna have to mention after this.
Yeah.
But
we were talking about skinwalkers with that.
Yeah, I don't know
like-
if it was demon or a skinwalker.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get to that right now after this, because the shadow being experience is almost over. But I get in my mom's trailer, dude, and I'm just like at this point asking God, like, don't let this thing kill
Protect me.
Don't, please protect me. Don't let this thing kill me. You know, like, I'm sorry.
God, man.
I'm sorry for letting these things being able to like fuck with me.
Be
I'm
my
like,
life.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what I did to allow this shit to fuck with me.
Well, it's the Ouija board, dude.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
the
know.
fucking Ouija board, man. I'm telling you right now, it's the fucking Ouija board.
So this thing doesn't go into my mom's yard or the house.
So it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't appear at all. I guess it just stayed in the alley and disappeared. Right.
Moved on to something else.
Moved on, and it's probably because my mom's religious. 'Cause like I said, she's like a Christian lady,
Yeah.
and so like she's always praying and stuff, praying for me and
Well,
stuff.
she's probably got power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like everything, but the whole night I did not step one foot outside.
How was your sleep that night?
That night, dude, I honestly don't even remember if I had a dream or not, dude.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
I fell asleep, everything was blank, and I woke up.
Yeah, like see, that's my big thing. Every time I've like had a experience that like made my skin crawl,
Yeah.
don't sleep.
Yeah,
Don't sleep. They just fucking don't sleep.
that's crazy. Dude.
Yeah, like I said, like it's once you have an experience like that, it stays with you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like you like the big thing, like I was telling you before, like in my house,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a old woman, and when I don't keep things clean, that's when I get the activity. Like I was telling you about that before.
Yeah.
Like it's like my buddy Tony, not Tony that was here with us, but we were sitting here watching TV, and my house was dirty. And we were sitting here watching TV, and all of my fucking kitchen cabinets slammed shut. And he went running outside and has refused to come back over since. He's like refused to come back over.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So have you had any other like experiences like with like spirits or anything like that?
Oh yeah, so like like the growling at my window.
Mhm. Yes, I want to hear about this. Yeah.
So-
well, you told it already, but
Yeah. So we don't know if it's like a skinwalker
right,
or
right.
some sort of a demonic thing.
Right. Well, and like I'm a big proponent in the story that you're telling. That
Yeah.
I really honestly believe that the Ouija board had a lot to do with it, dude.
I think so now that you say it,
like
even
it
though
op-
we just touched it.
It just opened up a door, dude.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I
And
feel.
what's crazy is that I was a child.
Doesn't matter, dude.
That's what this shit followed me.
It
Maybe
doesn't matter.
attached himself to some shit.
Well, and like I've actually looked into the Ouija board. It was like a game created by Hasbro and like whatever. But there was people thousands of years ago. They used this exact like system of like having these letters and numbers on a board, and I forget what the little thing that you put your fingers on to move around with.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if it's like a game created by Hasbro or whatever. But it's the intent behind it. Like we're gonna put this thing down and we're gonna talk to spirits. So like that's kind of what I feel. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like you open the door, there's no closing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's like no closing it. Like so it kind of puts a quote unquote like spiritual target on your back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That is super interesting, but it's so fucking wild.
yeah. So like let's keep it moving forward.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving forward. You had a couple extraterrestrial shit you wanted to tell me about.
Yeah,
So-
dude.
Oh yeah. So let's go. Tell me.
The fucking extraterrestrial stuff is bizarre, man.
Well, it's all bizarre.
and Should I tell them about the growling experience?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Before we jump in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, before we jump in the extraterrestrial stuff, like there was one more experience because I've already touched down on all of them except the growling. I was literally, all I was doing is just in my room, hanging out in my room.
And this was in Tucson?
This was in Tucson.
That feels like some skinwalker shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. And you know, like out here,
That's Native American culture.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, so like I'm here, I'm chilling, I'm in my room. All of a sudden, dude, I hear this growling at my window.
Dude, scary as fuck. Just to start with, that's scary as
Yeah,
fuck.
dude. And I'm like, my lights are on. I couldn't see.
So was it like low and guttural, or it was like a
Oh
dog,
man,
or
dude, it was like a. It really sounded like an angry dog at first.
yeah?
And then what creeped me the fuck out is that it started sounding human.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's just creepy, man. Just
And
creepy.
that's what made me think like, oh, this shit might be a skinwalker type, a werewolf type shit.
Yeah.
And so started growling.
Like Dog Man.
Yeah, man. And then like all of a sudden, I'm thinking it's one of my friends fucking with me.
With you.
And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I know it's you. And once I say that, this thing gets pissed. This thing gets angry.
You can tell it's angry.
Yeah, dude. This thing starts getting way angrier. It starts literally like getting like,
So it's not, like you said, it's like a mix of human and dog or something.
Kind of like somebody going, but like with like a panther growl, dude, like that deep.
I hear you. Yeah.
Almost like a bear in a way, dude.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
And so like,
And there's no way to imitate it.
no, there's no way I could imitate it with my voice.
Yeah.
Like my vocal cords are not capable
They're
of
not
that.
gonna make that noise.
No.
They're not gonna make that noise.
Exactly. And so like all of a sudden I got like this paralyzing fear and I can't move. And this thing is just growling even harder and louder.
And this was outside your window?
This was outside my window, and my room was a small room at the time, and it only had one window, and it was at that window, and it was it had to be staring at me.
I got goosebumps, dude.
Dude.
Like, literally, look.
Yeah.
Go
Like
ahead.
for example, like see that window?
Yeah.
Like if my blinds were see-through at the time.
Fuck that, dude. I cannot sleep with like open windows.
So imagine it's even creepier.
Yeah.
My blinds were see-through, man. And the reason why I had see-through blinds is because at the end of the night, I'll just turn the lights off. And you can't see through them.
Yeah.
But I had the lights on. So if you put
So the lights were on at the time.
Yeah, so if you put your face at my window from the outside, you could see through it.
Fuck, dude. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
And it's just one window. And my window was closed, but this thing's growling so loud.
Through the closed window.
Yeah, dude. And then it's staring at me. I could feel its eyes staring at me, dude. And then I feel its presence, and its presence is so fucking evil, man.
Well, that's what they say a lot about skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Is like they are predatory. Like
Yeah.
they pick somebody. They go at somebody and they make like this is my target. And this is just my assessment from what you're saying.
Yeah, that's probably what happened, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, well, maybe it was like some demon or something.
Yeah.
But probably was some skinwalker. But what made me think...
Well, I would call it a skinwalker a demon. Honestly.
Yeah,
Like
I always felt...
if you get broad about it.
Oh, okay.
If you get broad about it, it's
Yeah.
When I use the word demon, it's like a evil spirit. It's
Yeah.
Do you agree with?
Yeah. I almost felt like skinwalkers were very physical.
Yeah.
Are very
well,
physical.
yeah.
And so...
Well, that's if you guys out there listening have no idea what a skinwalker is, do a little bit of research and Native American lore, stuff like that. You know, like
yeah, definitely
there's
crazy.
there's a lot there to digest. So.
Definitely crazy. And so back to that story, man. Like, the crazy thing about that, man, is like somehow, man, again, by some miracle, I was able to gain my energy back.
Right.
Because I was like,
this is the second time.
Yeah, because I was like, this was the first time actually. The Shadow Man was the second time I had an experience with these entities. This is the first entity that was a dark entity. The poltergeist stuff wasn't heavy, it wasn't dark. It was.
You didn't feel.
I didn't feel that negative energy, that evil energy. You know what I mean? But this skinwalker, whatever demon, whatever the hell it was, definitely you feel that evil presence, man. Right. And the shadow person.
Like you felt like there was an intent in harm.
Basically, when you're in their presence, it's paralyzing fear. Like literally, like the first few seconds, you cannot move.
Well, yeah, I believe that. 100%. You
cannot move, dude. And
well, like not to interrupt, but it kind of brings in like to all the people that I've talked to about like Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Like if you have like a lot of people like today will have like their phone on them.
Yeah.
And the last thing you think about is pulling your phone out and taking a picture. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the last thing you think about. Like it's you're just thinking about survival. You're not like your basic core thing is like whether you're scared or not, you're just thinking about I got to make it through this experience.
Exactly.
You're not thinking about like taking your phone out, taking a picture, and like, well, how come there's no pictures of Sasquatch? Just think about it for a second. Like if you were in front of that thing or whatever you saw, you're not gonna like, oh, I'm gonna go grab my phone and take a picture. You know, it's not gonna work that way. But
No,
I didn't derail what you were talking about. But like,
no, it's totally fine. But yeah, that stuff, man, was just it's definitely life changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, as soon as this thing is super pissed, growling at me in the window, and
you could feel that.
I could feel that hardcore energy. It's almost draining. It is draining, you know, and it's paralyzing. And again, the only thing that came in because I think this thing is gonna bust through my window and kill me.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Like I was saying, like I thought, like I don't know if I said that the first take, but I'm thinking this thing is gonna kill me.
Right. You're afraid.
I'm afraid for my life.
Yeah.
So I'm at this point. I'm like, God, don't let this thing kill me, please. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm like, damn, is this the way I'm gonna die? Fuck.
Well, and that's kind of where there's this weird gray line of like faith.
Yeah.
You know, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know, because like you have these experiences and whatever you believe in, you put your faith in something.
Yeah.
And like all of these stories that I hear is like these people like put their faith in something. Yeah. And it kind of brings them out of it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
I feel you, man.
Like it doesn't necessarily protect them, but it brings them out. It brings them to the point to where they're not so afraid that they can deal.
I do feel you.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do get you. Definitely some sort of a thing that was like that happened.
Yeah.
And like,
well, I don't feel, you know, like, and you know, when you're telling me these stories, I believe you 100%. And the thing is like, I feel like you probably had some kind of something helping you get through it.
Either like some sort of like guardian angel, some sort of like spirit guide. I don't know, man.
Right. It's crazy to think about, dude.
But definitely, God was definitely on my side.
There you go, man. You know we'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
God was on your side. Yeah.
Or even if he wasn't, this thing just didn't have permission to take me out at that time.
Well, like it's like I was saying on our last recording, like the entity that's in my home.
Yeah.
I said cause I don't really identify as Christian, but like it was like I am a Christian, God, you know, in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. And since I did that, well, it's basically stopped other than my microphone fucking flipping over all over the place.
Right.
Which is weird as fuck, right? You saw it, dude. You saw it.
And I'm here right now. Yeah, I did see that.
Like, I was just sitting here talking and it whoop.
Yeah. And the whole fucking, well, not the whole show, but like half the show that we first did take earlier.
That was weird.
That was just weird. That was. But that was when, I keep forgetting his name.
Tony.
That's when Tony was here. He was talking about his stuff. He brought up occultism.
Yes.
And
talking about salt. And,
yeah. Who knows? But
yeah, but that was weird though.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. It was weird.
That was weird. But hopefully I'm pretty sure this one's gonna lock in and we're gonna be good.
Yeah. We're almost at an hour now already.
All right, yeah. And I don't have even that much you know what I'm saying? Like there's not much left, but after this, we're gonna get to the final stuff.
So like what you brought up a good point. Like when Tony was here recording with us, he was talking about like salt and prayer.
Yeah.
And like Tony told this really amazing story that led up to like with what you were talking about.
Yeah.
He had a friend that was experiencing the same thing that you did when you were out on the street.
Uh-huh.
And you saw this shadow man, and she made a circle of salt.
Yeah.
And it kept her safe.
It did.
Which is pretty interesting, dude. Pretty interesting. You know, like
wasn't like mine. Like I ran away from this thing. You know, this thing came at me. I'm pretty sure he said that she wanted to summon it.
Well, yeah, he was saying that she was like trying to come face to face.
Right.
Fuck that, dude.
Fuck that shit. I was never looking for this shit ever, man. This shit found me.
Fuck that, man. Fuck that.
But yeah.
So let's keep the topics rolling.
Yeah.
And you have a couple really cool alien stories that I want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like jumped ahead earlier. And like you like brought me back like, oh no, we're not there yet.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, like just wanted to say the last of my well, we don't know if that was a demon or a skinwalker.
You're right.
But cuz I don't consider aliens demons.
Well, who knows?
What people say
who knows,
they could be, you know what I'm saying? Now we're, now to question the whole thing, you could say maybe they are.
Well, here's my big thing with aliens. Like, if we're the only life in the universe,
yeah,
pardon the pun, but it's an astronomical waste of space.
Yeah,
it's an astronomical waste of space.
Right, damn.
Yeah, like it's
damn.
Well, like mathematically, like if you go as a mathematician,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense that this is the only little rock, only little blue rock.
That's impossible, dude.
Thank you. It's fucking impossible.
It's fucking impossible.
Like, as far as like statistics go and math, there's
Yeah.
fucking no way.
Yeah,
There's
dude.
no way that this is the only time that life has happened.
No way, dude.
Yeah. Oh, and like Stephen Hawking, like Stephen Hawking's, right?
Yeah.
Like his whole thing is like the big thing is like at this point that we haven't had contact is space is so big. It's just so big. It's so big that you can't even
vast, man.
like you can't even begin to wrap your mind around how big
Yeah.
it is. So like like our little blue rock has us. Like there's probably 100,000 gajillion million light years away that has other life. Like whether it's microbial, whether it's a culture.
Yeah.
Like there's just no fucking way to write that off of like, oh, aliens don't exist.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking short-minded. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it is.
Like it's kind of like I have a really cool story that I'm actually going to be going on the Confessionals podcast pretty soon. I was telling you about that.
Yeah.
Like my dad was in a motorcycle gang in the 70s. And I think he said it was 72. But him and his buddies in his motorcycle gang, there was 10 of them riding on the road.
Okay.
And they were all going down this road, and it was pitch black. It was the middle of the night in Oklahoma, out of nowhere, no sound, no nothing. Fucking 2 spotlights lit them up.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and they decided to they were weirded out by it.
Yeah.
So the whole gang decided to split up, and wish you guys could see my hands, but half the group slowed down and half the group sped up, and the light split into 2 and fucking lit them both up.
Dude, that's crazy, dude.
And that went on for about 15-20 minutes, and then the whole gang pulled over to the side of the road. The 2 lights came together and disappeared. Nothing. Gone.
Dude, that's crazy.
Gone.
Yeah.
And I believe my dad.
Yeah, no, why would anyone like
why
that
would
be
he?
lying?
Yeah. And then I have a story of it was about 5 years ago. It was in the middle of a rainstorm, super crazy turbulent weather.
Yeah.
And I was driving my car up the road that in the house I live now.
Right.
I was like driving up, and there was 4 lights in the sky.
Okay.
They were like they were like sitting completely still.
Yeah.
You know, like for like rain, wind, and lightning. There's nothing that we have that could sit perfectly still in that.
Yeah.
And so my buddy Chad, the guy who was in the yard earlier, we got out of the car and we're like, "What the fuck are we looking at?" And these lights individually moved off to the side and went up vertically and disappeared one by one.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, like that's aliens are like my big thing. You know, like for us to be the only thing in the universe, like I said,
Impossible.
Impossible, an astronomical waste of space.
Yeah. And that's what like you know, like now we have to just jump into the alien. Well, before we jump into the alien topic, let me just close it off. Let me close off like the demon and skinwalker topic with like when we, you know, when we're talking about like when this thing was growling at me in the window.
Yeah, that still gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, man. Dude. Like even me thinking about it, like
gives you goosebumps. I
still can't believe that shit happened to me. And the same with the shadow, man.
I'm glad you're still here, man.
Yeah, man. Exactly. And the same with the shadow being, dude. I'm glad I survived that shit, dude. Because not too many.
That's some scary shit.
Not too many people have experiences like that, dude.
Not very well. I bet there's a lot of people that don't talk about it.
Exactly, man. But at such a young age too, and like I don't know, man, I could have been dead. But like I said,
dude, the fucking Ouija board, son.
Yeah, dude. Who the fuck knows? I'm starting to think that that's really probably what it was, man.
Fucking telling you, man.
Oh yeah, but so like I finally like got this strength out of nowhere, man, to like walk out of my room.
Oh, dude, I can't believe you did that. Like you told me this before.
Yeah.
Like you walked out and went outside, right?
I walked out my room into the kitchen, right? And I could still hear this shit growling, dude. But like this shit is super mad at this point. And I'm like, I'm like, if I move, this shit's gonna bust through the window, right? So I'm like, well, this is it. If I'm dead, I'm fucking dying. Because I'm not going to stay here. You know what I mean?
No, she's going to take it.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm walking out and I'm like, thank you, God. It didn't bust through my window. And then all of a sudden, dude, I hear it fade out. And so you know how
Did it fade out like it was moving away?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah? Wow. Like it... Wow.
Yeah, dude. Okay, and then like we gotta finish this shit like by like the crazy. No, I wouldn't say that. I feel like the craziest thing is just the fact that it was there. But like, as soon as I left, dude, and it faded out, all of a sudden I kind of came back to normal, right? And I was all like, "Well, that shit's gone." Because if it was still there, I would have heard it and I would have felt that presence. Like I almost felt the presence leave.
So you could feel it.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, thinking that it could have been like some sort of a werewolf thing, man.
Skinwalker.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna see prints in the dirt.
Oh, right.
In front of my window. Where my window is just dirt, right? So I go out, dude, and I see no prints. All I see is my shoe prints. So that's why I'm like, this thing, I don't think it was a skinwalker. I feel like it was a demon. But now, you know how you said like skinwalkers could be demons. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's what happened with that. And then we already talked about the shadow experience. And now let's just jump to the UFO experiences.
Yes.
For the finale, man.
I like that.
And I'm not even gonna like, I don't want to sound crazy, Keith, but
you can. Here's the thing. This is what Cryptid Bones is about, dude. You can tell your story, and I'm gonna believe you.
All right.
I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna just tell your story, dude.
Cool. So you know how you said like UFOs and aliens, like we don't know. What if they are demons, right?
Okay.
I'm starting to think that it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also starting to think, and I don't mean to get too deep, but I did a lot of research. Because what happened to me, man, after I started having like, what happened, dude, is that...
So you feel like it's all like looped together.
It's almost all connected, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But the skinwalkers and the shadow beings are kind of separated in the aspect of they're more like these like earthbound things.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
But these UFOs and aliens, I feel like they're still connected to the devil, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him.
However you want to go at it, yeah.
And I feel like they work with him. However, they're not like spawned to the earth.
I see what you're saying.
They're really from another dimension. They're really from another fucking galaxy, whatever the fuck you want to call them. But Satan,
different plane of being.
Yeah, devil, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him. He's more. I'm starting to think he's more of a. Not of. I wouldn't say like physical entity, but they say he's a fallen angel.
Right.
And to me, it kind of sounds like he's like an alien type being.
Okay.
So they say he's from the heavens. He fell from there. What if they're saying the heavens was space?
Whoa. Okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
Aliens were probably his creation along with the demons. He created demons and he created aliens.
Whoa. I love that. I love it. Okay, go
I don't want to say...
No, keep going.
Right.
Keep going.
So I'm starting to think, man, that... they say that he masquerades in like this...
He's like the king of lies and all that stuff.
And he masquerades himself as a being of light because they called him the light bearer.
Right. Yeah.
So
You're right.
You're
right.
Right. So this is where shit's gonna start.
Well, like if you get into like Levan,
exactly,
Levan Satanism, he was the only creature that was actually able to tell the truth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Levan Satanism says that like Lucifer, Satan, cause it's a completely different type of Satanism. It's not like Antichrist shit. It's like he was like Lucifer was the only one that could tell the truth.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so those I have to say it, man. Like now that we're talking about this, I got to spill the beans on this.
Do it, man.
So,
do it.
This is the last thing I'm gonna talk about with my experiences, and then we're gonna close the show out with this or whatever. But like, the crazy thing is like, so this being Lucifer, I feel like he's controlling this planet, and he's controlling the planet alongside with these beings that are either from space or another dimension.
Okay.
And they're working with him. And the reason why this is all going to make more sense to you now once I tell you why I think Lucifer's behind this.
Well, here's the thing: is you don't got to worry about it making sense to me. I want to hear. I want to hear your story.
So what happened to me, man, is I started seeing orbs in the sky.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually seen orbs myself.
And the crazy thing is that I've seen these things move in speeds that are impossible.
Okay.
And like
when you mean orbs, you mean like illuminated orbs,
like balls of light in the sky.
Okay.
And they say that the devil and his fallen angels, they can transform their form into light beings.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a while, it was when I started seeing these things when I turned like 21. And all this shadow being and skinwalker or demon shit that happened, all this shit was pre-21. It was like 20, 19, 18. Then like the other shit was like 15, and then like when I was a kid and all that shit, going back to all that shit. But like at 21, I started seeing like orbs in the sky, dude. And and this was when I was doing research about where demons were and shit, which led me to figuring out who the devil was.
Yeah.
And like how they say he was
Belial and shit like that.
And they said that he was the leader of rebellion, whatever. He got kicked out of the heavens for rebellion against and he can masquerade himself into a light being, or he is a light being.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been seeing these orbs, and what happened is like this all started happening to me when I started doing research about what demons and shit was.
Mm-hmm.
So what a coincidence that I started seeing shit.
Well, I actually have a book over here. I'll show you before you leave. I have an encyclopedia of demons. I'll show you.
Crazy.
I'll show you before you leave.
So it just hit me as a coincidence that I started seeing orbs in the sky as UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
I call them UFOs, but maybe they're not UFOs.
Well, anything you see in the sky that's unidentified,
but it's probably not a craft.
I see what you mean.
It's probably a fallen angel.
That's interesting. Interesting.
Okay, but not like the crazy.
You gotta quit playing the fucking Ouija boards, dude.
And we never played it too. That's the crazy thing. We just touched it.
Well, maybe that's all. Maybe that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Continue though.
All right.
Sorry.
So the crazy thing, man, is like my encounters. Like I was seeing these orbs fly around, right? And I'm like, oh, that's nothing, right? It's just like, well, whatever. Oh, I saw a UFO. I'm like, oh, I'm not the first one.
Right.
And then I started realizing, why am I seeing these things when I'm doing research about demons and shit? And then I'm like, all right, nothing to it that much.
Well, you're probably maybe starting to notice it more because you're looking into it.
Maybe, right? And so this one time, so I'm living at my dad's at this time, and I'm 21. And I'm in front of his house, dude. And I start seeing a lot of these orbs and shit
Oh, you were telling me about this.
in the sky. And I'm like, why are these things flying right over me? Like, numerous of times in one, like, dude, one day I saw 7 orbs in one night.
One night.
One night, dude. And so that's crazy. And then, all right, and then a couple years pass, right? And for months I don't see shit. And all of a sudden I start seeing them again, right? And then years go by, dude, and I was seeing them off and on, right? And then I'm 23 by this time, and I'm still seeing these things, dude. And this one night, dude, it's super close to me.
I know this story. Go ahead.
Super close to, it's like hovering, like I would say like 100 feet in the air, right? And it brights up, like it illuminates itself.
Like blue or white?
It's white, but it'll illuminate, like it's dim, right? It's still bright when it's dim, but it gets even brighter, right? Like almost like if it was like scanning me, or you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And it lights up, but it doesn't flash. It just lights up, right? And then all of a sudden, I see this triangular craft, and it has no lights. So
that's separate from.
So I see 2 sightings at the same time: the orb and the triangular craft, right? And the triangular craft, I'm used to the orbs by now, right? So it doesn't
used
freak
to the
me.
orbs.
Yeah. So I'm not freaked out, but I'm not used to the triangular craft. And this thing's like 100. This thing's like 80 feet in the air. It's close, dude. And it's right on top of me, dude. Moving in the air like a shark in the water, dude.
Oh, I like that. I like that shark in the water.
Slow, dude. Like literally like this, dude. And
back and forth.
Making no noise. And I'm freaked the fuck out. I'm like, holy fuck. This orb brights up. It lightens up, right? Like I said. And then it dims back. And then it moves forward, and then right behind it, the triangular thing follows it. And then a little more higher altitude, there's like 4 more orbs.
Oh, dude.
And they're all going in the same direction. And when I see the triangular craft with no lights and stuff, I'm freaked the fuck out.
Well, yeah, I would be too.
So I run in my dad's house because I'm in the porch when this is happening. And this is right in front of me.
You were telling me about this.
This is right on top of me, right on top of my dad's porch, dude. Like if these things were looking at me, you know what I mean?
Well, and here's the thing is, I don't think you were hallucinating.
No.
Yeah, I like that. No.
Dude, I was sober.
I was there.
Yeah, dude. And so I run inside, man, and I'm freaking out. I tell my dad. My dad's like, "You're fucking crazy."
You're fucking crazy.
And I'm like,
Daniel, no.
I'm like, all right. I try to tell my dad some shit like, don't fucking believe me. What I'm telling you is truth. I don't give a fuck. He's like, what type of fucking weed are you smoking? I said, look.
This is what happened. Man.
I know you're not going to believe me. I'm just going to shut the fuck up now. So I shut up. And after that, dude, I didn't go out for the rest of the night.
You told me this. Yeah.
Kind of like, and this was like at 10, probably like 9:45. I said, fuck this. I'm gonna chill inside for the rest of the
Hopefully,
night.
I don't hear any more growling.
Yeah. and I didn't even go out after the growling. Well, the growling, I went out to see if there was footprints.
I was making a joke.
Oh, yeah.
like, even if I hear growling, I'm not going outside.
And then the shadow person, I didn't go out for the rest of the night after that.
Yeah.
But the UFOs, dude, I learned about alien abductions
Yeah.
when I was researching about demons. I had learned about alien abductions because somehow there was a lot of videos connected to the demons and alien abductions.
Okay.
So a lot of this shit, at the end of the day, bottom line, somehow they're connected.
Right.
And it's all crazy, and they're trying, there's conspiracy shit, like the government's working with them. The government works with Lucifer.
Right.
He controls demons. So you see how all this you know what I mean?
Yeah, congeals. It's
Exactly.
It congeals together.
And so that's like the big bang at the end, basically. And like for me, my story, my experiences. But crazy shit is like next day I go outside, man, and everything's cool. Couple weeks pass, dude, and what do I see in the sky? Orbs. Yeah, dude.
Like, it makes you feel like you're targeted, right?
Almost like they're just keeping an eye on me.
Yeah, like,
but at this point,
did this dude say anything?
yeah. And at this point, you know how you say you're comfortable with like this, your house being haunted and stuff?
Yeah, well, it's because I've made peace.
Yeah.
Like, I've made peace.
I've basically made peace with these beings. And I know I'm sounding crazy.
Who fucking cares?
I don't-
If you're listening to the show, you're open-minded.
I don't know if these orbs are fucking fallen angels. I don't know if they're aliens.
Who knows?
But
Who
all I
knows?
know is that they're there. They're real. For some reason, they've been looking at me, but they haven't abducted me. They're not fucking with me. They're not ruining my life.
Mhm.
So you can say I've made kind of my peace, but at the same time, I'm used to it.
Well, you've acknowledged the existence.
Yeah.
And hasn't been a negative.
And at the same time, I feel comfortable with me and my connection with God. I've asked
you
God
go.
for protection.
There you go.
I told him, if these beings are negative, just protect me.
There you go.
And I'm going to be loyal to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to go fucking worshiping these goddamn entities in the sky. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like I heard like the people in the past have done. Which
Right.
is crazy now.
Yeah, like
They worship sky gods.
like the Aztecs. and
Exactly,
stuff
dude.
like that. Yeah.
So the fact that I'm seeing these things is like, it's almost as if they want me to worship them, but I'm not.
Right. I know what you mean.
And it all makes more sense, like how they say, "Oh, Lucifer wants you to worship him."
And like the big thing that you're getting at is like the emotion and feeling that you get projected from these experiences.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, you know.
Yeah,
that's
man.
a big thing. Like, religion comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And whatever these things are, aliens, the devil, they're there. I'm not gonna fucking try to talk to them.
No, don't open yourself up.
No, man.
Don't open that door.
People in the past may have worshipped them. I don't know. It could be Satan. It could be an alien. Who knows? All I know is that they're real. They're there. I've seen them. I've had experiences. I've also had these demonic experiences that we touched down on. And that's basically all my experiences,
That's
man.
awesome, man.
And to this day, I see these things in the sky. But like I said, I'm used to it. I feel protected.
Well, as long as you feel protected.
I do. I feel comfortable enough not to be abducted. You know what I mean? I got shit to do on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got shit to do.
I gotta go do things.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I actually got fucking goals and shit.
That's right, man.
So, like, that's it, man.
All right. Well, like, I'm really happy that you stuck around for the second recording of the very first episode of Cryptid Bones.
Thank you.
Dude, like, hopefully you'll do it again.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Hopefully you'll come back and do it again.
Especially if some crazier shit happens to me, man.
Exactly, right.
Still young, so...
So, in ending, this has been Cryptid Bones. If you had any stories that you want to tell me, come on the show, and we'll talk about it.